Unfortunately, today I'll be talking about Orbital Children. Orbital Children is an anime on Netflix, and quite frankly, one that's been occupying my mind for way too long. And for right now, I'm just gonna review the anime. I'm not gonna summarize anything because honestly, in order to summarize something, you kinda have to know what the fuck you're talking about. And with this anime, I am completely lost. So I'm gonna give you time to go watch the anime and come back to see this review, okay? 1, 2, 3. Okay, you're back. Please lie to me and tell me that you understood that anime completely, because I was honestly trying to pay attention, but it felt like I was in the middle of the war zone while the anime plot was passing me by.
If you want the fucking brawl, come down to Nevic Hospitality, I'll come out of my house and I'll break your fucking leg!
I'm gonna do something new for this review and split the anime into 3 categories: the overall concept behind the anime, the execution behind that concept, and finally my personal rating of the anime. Each category will be out of 10 points for the overall rating out of 30. So let's talk about the concept. Overall, I really enjoyed the concept. Confusing, yes, but I think it could have been understood more easily. I love the idea of a space-centered sci-fi adventure anime dealing with a global crisis and trying to survive the cold, unforgiving vacuum of space. I mean, hell, one of my favorite movies of all time is Interstellar, so far this anime checks off a lot of the same boxes. While the plot doesn't seem very confusing in the first couple of episodes, towards the end of the series, it kinda loses me. While I did say I wasn't going to do a summary, I'm going to try my very best to get the concept behind this anime in very few sentences. So, as the name suggests, there is a group of children on a space station. Most of them are kids brought to space on a sponsored trip. The remaining other 2 kids were born in space. They were already on the space station, and that's all they've ever known. The 2 kids that were born in space were born during a time where humanity created a super intelligent AI called 7. The artificial intelligence went beyond plus ultra, wrote a couple prophecies called the 7 poem, then disappeared like my dad. Back in the present day, the space station is under attack by a comet. Yes, a couple of rocks did get flung into the space station, but it's mostly a virtual attack, where the protagonist AI fights the comet's AI. Listen, it's just a whole bunch of artificial intelligence fighting each other. Okay, I hope you're paying attention, because it turns out that the comet is going to wipe out 1/3 of the population to satisfy the prophecy that was written by the artificial intelligence 7. The 2 children that were born in space have implants in their head that allow them to communicate with the artificial intelligence inside the comet, which the artificial intelligence that was inside the comet is 7, but not the old 7, a new 7. They call it the second 7. Did you get all that? Good, because after a couple soul bonds later with the artificial intelligence, it decides not to destroy the world. Instead, it burns up in the atmosphere. All artificial intelligent limiters are broken, and it turns out that the prophecies made by the AI eventually do come true. It's just not in the way that everyone thought. For the most part, the crisis is averted and everything is good and all is well. Oh, but I forgot to mention that there's a traitor among the group who's part of a terrorist organization called John Doe. There's also a kid who's part of the United Nations too. I'm guessing after the first United Nations also disappeared like my dad. The 2 kids that were born in space have implants in their heads. They're slowly killing them because they didn't dissolve properly. And one of the children is actually the worst. She is a Twitch streamer who focuses on live streaming terrorist attacks on the space station. And the other child is completely forgettable. I know I'm explaining it badly, but it's actually this confusing and boring sometimes. But just to make sure I wasn't crazy, I looked at a YouTube video talking about this anime to see what the comments had to say, and I'm glad to see that I wasn't the only one who felt a little bit lost. Now let's talk about why the anime suffered so much, because honestly, it had quite a decent concept, and I think the problem was more on the execution behind it. Let me say that the animation is beautiful. I can say with confidence that you can pause any scene and it would look great. As for the story side of things, that's a different case. I'm not sure what kind of limitations or requirements the producers of the anime had to meet for Netflix, but I think the story suffered because it was only 6 episodes. I think if it was given more time, the story would have felt more filled out. Instead, the first couple of episodes are boring, and the last half of the episodes were convoluted with a whole bunch of plot points. I don't even think that it needed to be a 12-episode anime. I think they could have made it work with 6 episodes, if they would have taken advantage of the first couple of episodes, instead of taking it slow. Now for my personal feelings towards the anime. Well, I watched it, and I don't mean that in an insulting way. I was actually really excited to watch this anime. Choosing an anime to watch nowadays is difficult, but this anime was quick to garner my attention. The thumbnail of the anime was gorgeous, just like the rest of the animation, and the synopsis was really interesting. Unfortunately, it was all too good to be true. The characters are forgettable for the most part. There's only one name I can remember now, and that's NASA. And that's only because her name is NASA and she has pink hair. Personally, the AI felt lifeless, and I know they're machines, but come on, you could at least give them a little personality. I know this isn't an action anime, but the little fight scenes they did have was just seeing which pattern can fill up the walls of the space station first. That's all for now, and honestly, I don't want to think about this anime for that much longer, so let's rate it. I think the overall concept behind Orbital Children is really decent. Children trapped in a space station trying to escape impending doom is awesome. And while the concept is good, I can't really say that the whole trapped in outer space while the fate of the world is at stake thing is all that unique. For the concept of Orbital Children, I give it a 6 out of 10. Unfortunately, execution's going to be one of my lowest ratings. With a really good concept for Orbital Children, it really gets dragged down by the at times confusing and overlapping plot points. Something that was really well executed though was the animation. Almost every scene from the anime looks beautiful and is wallpaper worthy material. For so much potential that just falls flat, for execution, I'm going to have to give Orbital Children a 5 out of 10. And lastly, for my personal rating, no, I don't regret watching the series, but I would have preferred watching something else. But I can't say it was all too terribly bad, though I don't think I'll ever rewatch it. Based on my personal enjoyment of the series, I give the Orbital Children a 2 out of 10. For the overall score of a 13 out of 30, I don't hate the series, but it definitely wasn't for me. Though there is a space anime that I do love, and I would love to compare that anime to the Orbital Children in the future. But I'm really curious if you had any different opinions than me or any thoughts, please leave them in the comments below. And I'm trying out this new review style, so I may stick to it, I may not. I don't know yet, but there's definitely more videos that are yet to come. And as always, I'm just a side character.